What's up, everybody? Welcome to ign-arena episode 13. No one's here.
Already?
Well,
13?
I think so.
We did it.
No, maybe. I have to look at the laptop. I have to look at the laptop, but I think this is 13.
Yeah, no one's here.
Mitch just got back from Japan. So did I. I got back yesterday. He got back today. So when you come back from Japan, you leave at like 5 p.m. Like my flight was at 5:55 p.m. Japan time. I got back 10 a.m. Pacific time on Monday. So you time travel. So I did Monday twice this week. So I don't know what day it is. I'm drinking a bunch of coffee.
Yeah. So what's going on is that you're just better at this than Mitch, right?
No, I've been home for 2 days.
Okay.
He literally got home from the airport like 2 hours ago.
So Mitch is gone.
Yeah.
Kyle got in what seems like a minor motorcycle accident this morning. He emailed us. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
He just did a backflip and like he
ramped off some
stuff.
Yeah,
he was just being awesome.
So we're gonna do the fireside chat.
Yeah, it's gonna be you and me.
And it's kind of a shame because this is actually a really huge week for MOBAs.
It's an incredible week.
What do we even start with?
I say we start with League because so I was while in Japan. Like one of the benefits to that was the first group stage for the League of Legends World Finals started. And they were on Korean time, which again is like about an hour off in Japan time. So I was able to watch live
at normal people times.
Yeah, rather than
normally it's like early in the morning.
It's
here,
like
right?
2 a.m. It starts at 2 a.m.,
right.
which is just like the worst if you're gonna watch it from here. Which for the rest of the finals, I will have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like so, as expected. Samsung White, which is one of the Korean teams, just dominated.
I can't believe that's a name.
Yeah, well, so like that's the weird thing about Korean teams is like usually for American teams, most of the time it's like it depends. Like people just refer to them as Cloud9, or it's like Kingston HyperX Cloud9, or Cloud9 Kingston HyperX. Like they're usually put in different places.
The sponsor.
Yeah, but like
in the front. Yeah.
But like for them, it's like they're like it's right up front. It's Samsung White. They went 6-0. They just like dominated. So they were in Group A, which had Samsung White, Edward Gaming, AHQ Esports Club, and Dark Passage.
Were any of the games even close?
There may have been one or two. I didn't get to watch everyone because I was also working. But they just. I'm assuming they dominated. Like, they're just so good.
So is that a thing that like League fans love to see? Because it was the finals last year was just a total stomp too, right?
Yeah, they weren't super great.
It was like 3-0 or something.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing. Like,
do people like that? They're like, yeah, they love this powerhouse team, or is there sort of like a rooting for the underdogs kind of going on?
I mean, there is. It's always the USA chance and everything. It's TSM. Like TSM was not in Group A. They were in Group B, with Starhorn Royal Club, SK Gaming, and Taipei Assassins.
EG has a North American team for League, right?
EG, but they didn't make it in.
Okay.
They're okay. Maybe like they're actually there's a whole long story about how EG was originally in an EU team. Before that, there was CLG, NA, and CLG EU, but you can't have more than one owner. It's a very complicated.
These are letters of the alphabet.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. But doesn't really matter. But TSM and made it through. So the 4 teams are Samsung White, Edward Gaming, Starhorn Royal Club. Ugh, that's a mouthful, and Team Solo Mid.
So these are the last 4 teams
from groups A and B, and then we have C and D coming up. I think the preview show is sometime today, which is Wednesday.
And are those games also in like Korea, Japan?
Yeah, those are in Taipei, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so it's still a pain in the ass for people here.
Yeah. If you're in Europe, you'll be fine. It's not actually that far off.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, the games even started pretty late there. Like it was like 8 p.m. when I started watching the games. I'd be in my hotel room or something. I don't know. I'm super excited. Like they also partnered with Imagine Dragons to.
Yeah, that happened. We've not podcasted since that happened, right?
No.
Because we were out last week.
Yeah, I messaged you while I was in Japan about it.
Really cool.
They worked with Imagine Dragons to commission a song, which is just ridiculous and amazing.
Commissioned one of the biggest bands in the world right now to commission a song for League.
Yeah, and then they worked
a custom music video.
Yeah, with a custom music video that was produced, or at least the art director on it was, I think, one of the guys who did all of the Gorilla videos. Or at least it was very similar to their.
I didn't know
style.
that, but now I sort of see that.
Yeah,
that you mentioned that. Yeah.
It's just an awesome anthem. It's really pump. It's normally I'm not a huge fan of Imagine Dragons,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
as just a fun dumb thing, I thought it was pretty.
Yeah,
great.
it's very yeah, you can do it. Sort of rise up and be the champ sort of thing. It's sort of corny, but it's well done and
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. I really really enjoyed it, and then they play it right before they start I think the games are right before the pre-show, and it's just it's a fun it's a very sports thing of Monday Night Football montages set to I don't know, Tim McGraw or something. I don't watch football a whole lot, but it's just it's one of those sports things where it's just they have a hype reel basically to get you pumped.
I mean that's what Riot's model is
make
this is sports. They're making a sports network.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I talked about it to you or someone, but we talked about it yesterday. Where, the way that they put out this documentary about the players, it was an hour-long documentary. It's called The Road to Worlds. You can find it on their YouTube page, and it's just it's about each world final and the teams in it, and focusing on a player per team. They don't really focus on any of the North American teams because the North American teams haven't really done super well. But they focus, and it's just it's great. It's a good documentary that if you wanted to introduce someone to League and be it's not about the game, it's just about these people and being competitive and about the scene without it being overly involved.
Yeah. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is it sort of akin to the Valve's free-to-play
Yeah,
documentary?
it's actually very, very similar.
Does it focus on a handful of prominent players?
It focuses on Hai from Cloud9, Pooh from one of the Korean teams. I have to go look up the names of the players.
It's just a free thing you can watch?
Yeah, it's free. It's on their YouTube page.
Okay.
It's about an hour long. There's 3 parts. There might be one more part.
I'm totally down to watch that.
Yeah, it's really really fun. And I just I had about an hour to kill, and so I was watching it before I went to bed. I really enjoyed it. There's also some other stuff going on in the league. They put out some a lore page, which we're not exactly sure what it's about yet at the time of this recording. People think it's the Cyan rework, so it may be that. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw some news about it, and I was like, James, I must ask you.
Yeah.
Or Kyle, who is totally fine again, by the way.
Yeah, Kyle's fine. Kyle's fine. He's just running late. But yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff going on, and they're it could be a new champion, and we've talked about on recent podcasts that they're just ramping up production super hard.
Yeah, stuff's coming. Didn't another champion just come out? Azir?
Yeah.
Isn't he pretty new?
Yeah, so it was
weeks or something like that.
It was. I think we talked about it. Oh, you were here during that section. Yeah, Nar came out, and then a week and a half later, they were oh, here's Azir.
There's another one.
Yeah, and then it took about 2 weeks for him to actually be released.
Have you played much of him? I actually just played some League last night, and I can't play him. I don't have that hero unlocked. Champion is what they're called in League.
God, it's the worst. No, yeah, I played a match with him. I think. I mean, he's gonna have to get. He's so weird because he's a hybrid. He's a hybrid character, but not in the way that you think. Where he's I'm melee now. I'm ranged now. It's just no. He's it's weird. I don't know how to describe it. But I'm looking forward to playing him more. Hopefully, we'll get to play some League. Things are kind of slowing down right now at work. So
are they?
Kind of for a week or two.
Maybe.
Let me put it this way: I'm not traveling anymore for a while.
Traveling is calming down.
Yeah, I will actually be able to go home at night and play games rather than be out of the country. All
right,
I'm just super stoked. There's so much stuff going on, in just MOBAs in general.
Yeah, good, exciting stuff all around,
including Dota.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we're just gonna do. So.
Oh man.
I was off yesterday.
Oh man.
But I looked away from my phone for a little bit and then came back to Twitter, and it was bonkers. There were just patch notes dropped.
6.82 came out.
Yeah, tell me about 6.82.
6.82 is
it's on the test realm, right? Or not test realm.
It's only on the test server right now. It's not live yet, at least as of the time of recording.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest update I've seen since I started playing Dota a year and a half or so ago. It's after TI4, I think Valve sort of recognized that this push heavy meta is dominating the scene. Games were getting over very quickly. If you took one tower and your team was deathballing, you'd probably take 2 towers.
Yeah.
They've done so many things to kind of slow that and kind of, it seems like, make games longer again.
Yeah.
They changed, let's just start with that. Like, towers give less gold when you kill them. After you lose a tier 1 tower, your fortification glyph that protects them makes them invincible.
Refreshes. Which is, that's like, well, okay, I was going to say it's one of the biggest, it is one of the biggest changes, but it's like, it's an incredible change where it's just like, that changes the flow of the game. Like, you can't just, like, ultra push anymore and, like, finish games in 15 minutes.
Yep. A couple of, like, the hardest pushers, like Death Prophet and Shaman, had their ults cooldowns increased. Just like a little thing there.
Two new runes.
There are new runes.
Yeah, there are one new rune.
One new rune.
Yeah, so, but they spawn at the same time.
Right. Every 2 minutes, every even minute. A rune spawns on one part of the river, and now both spots will have a rune. One will be the normal, like, power-up thing, and one will be this bounty rune. Yeah. Which gives you gold and experience based on how long the game has been going on. Which, that changes a lot of things. Yeah. Actually. First of all, you'll never guess a rune spot and not get something for it anymore. Yeah. And if you're like a roaming support, now you're not going to lose as much experience when you're looking for games.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you can roam around and you can pick up that golden experience. You can now, like, say, take the bounty rune where your mid would take the power-up one. And, like, if you're a support with a bottle, you could, like, capture that rune and, like, heal your lane carry with that bottle.
Oh my God. And even thinking about, like, junglers, like no matter what, like, rune control is, like, now the name of the game in terms of, like, every 2 minutes you have something to do. Like, you need to go control that.
Yep. It's, like, mid, you probably won't get both of them unless the other mid player is bad. Yeah. Like, a support needs to pick it up.
Think about, Fire, what's his name?
Fire Bro? Ember Spirit?
Ember Spirit, yes. Think about using his remnants to just warp from one to the other.
I guess you could if you set it up early enough. Yeah. You could just pop back and forth and grab them both. One of the biggest changes, and I've never seen in Dota, is they changed the terrain of the map.
That's the biggest change.
That's the biggest change, yeah.
Yeah. There's go ahead.
The Roshan pit, the big monster who gives you the Aegis, his pit was sort of like right next to the stairs that led up to the Dire Tier 1, and now it's sort of shifted over to where the Dire Ancients are. Yeah.
And then they shifted the Dire Ancients over to basically closer to the mid-tier 1.
Mid-tier 1.
And there's a new path.
There are new paths all over the place, kind of. Yeah. Like, mostly on the Dire side, but there are a few on the Radiant side by the Radiant Secret Shop.
Yeah, it kind of mirrors it in terms of, okay, there's not going to be a Roshan on top side going into Radiant, but, like, there's still a path that goes back, like, towards the secret shop, so, like, you have better access to the secret shop from top lane now,
which is nice. I think the offlaner in Dire generally had a better time because the secret shop is right there, and you can stack ancients easily. Yeah, like now if you want to stack ancients on Dire side offlane,
you have to abandon solo,
you have to leave the lane.
Yeah,
that's gonna mess with Tidehunter a lot because Tidehunter stacked ancients and then Anchor smashed them down.
Yeah,
and got his blink dagger. Doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that's gonna. I think we're gonna I love Tide, but I think he's just gonna fall by the wayside again.
I think he might,
just because it's.
I mean, Ravage is always good,
but it got nerfed, and so did Refresher. Refresher got nerfed, so it's like he's just not a super great offlane.
Yeah, he's not. It's not like offlane Tide makes a bunch of sense anymore. Yeah. There's tons of balance updates to heroes, but some of the biggest ones are Void just got knocked back all around. He got nerfed. Yeah. His chrono is shorter duration. It's smaller radius. It doesn't disable passives, so he's not going to kill a TA or a PA for free anymore. Yeah. So that happened, which sucks because I played Void kind of before he got popular, and I was like, yeah, this dude's awesome, and now he's shut down.
New item.
Well, we can talk about that. Yeah. So there was an item called Vanguard that was super situational. Yeah. I would say maybe like 5 heroes that I would ever realistically buy it on. And it would become sort of a crappy item by 15 minutes. And then you're like, well, okay, what do? It doesn't disassemble. I'll sell it. Now that upgrades into the Crimson Guard, which is awesome because that was in the winter wave defense mode. Yeah. And it's neat. It's just an upgrade from Vanguard that gives you, more stats. Gives you an active that gives your team armor and some damage block. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to try it because I didn't go in the test server or anything, but I'm excited.
Yeah, and so there's crazy stuff. Like they reworked Bloodseeker's one of his abilities.
Bloodseeker and Phantom Lancer both have 2 abilities.
Okay, 2. Totally
replaced. Yeah. That change how the heroes are going to play, and for now they're out of Captain's mode.
Yes. But they added
Legion,
and
Terrorblade.
Yeah. Also, I think the craziest like hero change in terms of giving the Aghanim's effect onto Phoenix, which refreshes all your abilities, which is just gonna be
except for your ult.
Except for your ult, yeah. All your standard abilities. But what that means is people were doing like interactions last night where it's just like, so what happens is Phoenix triggers her ult, or its ult.
It is now not gendered.
It's non-gendered. It's just an it. And it does the same where it drops and then it stuns and everything.
Yeah. If it takes a certain number of hits while it's becoming reborn, it dies.
Yes. And you get full health. But now you can either click on people or have people click on you as you're doing it, and it will bring them inside and refresh all their abilities, and I think give them full health. Which, there are two things I think that go along with that. One, you can troll the crap out of people by just be like...
Oh, in pubs?
Yeah, in pubs.
Someone in.
Yeah, and you know you're going to die, and like they're running away, you're like, oh, no.
Yep. It's going to be awful.
It's going to be the worst. But also just the interactions with, like, refreshing, like, I don't know. Terrorblade's, like where he goes into his ranged form, basically, which is not his ultimate.
I think that's the longest cooldown ability in the game that is not an ultimate.
Yeah.
It's like 140 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. So
and now it's...
God, like...
refresh it.
Or, like... There's just so many small things that you're just like, well, okay. Well, that could just turn, like change the tide of the team fight.
I mean, we could go on this forever, but like another massive change is Tinker's machines no longer affect Ancients.
Yes, Tinker was so strong.
I started playing Tinker very recently and trying to figure out the Ancient stack and jungle stacks and stuff, and now it's like, well, he's still good. It's just if you fell behind, you could stack Ancients and catch up really quickly.
Yeah,
now you cannot do that. It's probably needed as much as it's fun playing a powerful hero. He got picked all the time, and he slowed games down a lot.
Yeah, because he would just bounce all over. It was so annoying to play against. It was just it's a righteous nerf.
Yeah.
They remade Shadow Fiend, I guess. They made
Shadow Fiend was sort of the poster boy of the whole update. He still looks sort of like a melted brown glass bottle.
Yeah.
Left in a fire. I don't know. He looked weird. Now he looks super cool.
He looks sort of like Ragnaros, or at least his Arcana set does.
Yeah, with the flames.
Yeah,
he has an Arcana set that's like the $35 huge set. It actually looks really good. Some of them I don't like the Techies Arcana, but yeah, it looks good. It gives you custom animations, custom taunts, your portrait, all that stuff changes.
How did they rework Phantom Lancer? Because I didn't actually I read it, I just didn't.
It's super weird. It's like Juxtapose is now his ultimate, and then he has like a skill that helps him dodge projectiles, and that like shuffles his position with his illusions.
So basically, he's basically like more of a deceiver, like even more of a deceiver than he was at.
I think so, but like the make copies thing is the ult now. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it used to be. I think Juxtaposed. Yeah, because the ult used to upgrade his ability to make copies.
Yeah.
And now it's switched.
Let's see. Okay.
Are we diving deep? Are we doing
Yeah, let's look at it. Okay. Spirit Lance is unchanged.
Right.
Phantom Rush, a passive ability for Phantom Lancer or his illusions to quickly close the distance to an enemy. Triggers when issuing attack order on an enemy unit outside of attack range. Grants passive bonus movement speed and phase until Phantom Lancer strikes the target. Doesn't really tell me how it works in terms of like, I'm assuming like you'll click on stuff and then like it will send an illusion.
It's not live, so I wanna test it. But there's also one that like makes copies, and like some copies take 100% damage, so they just look like normal heroes. Yeah, and there's some that take like 600% damage.
Yeah, so this is a doppelganger, a new ability for dodging immediate danger and confusing enemies with deceiving illusions. So I'm assuming this is like where you can use this to like disjoint like auto attacks or like large spells like snipers.
Because some spells are not disjointable.
Yeah,
and some are. But I wonder if this just kind of is like, hey, I'll disjoint this no matter what happens.
Target an area, Phantom Lancer, and all nearby illusions will disappear for 1 second. Then have their position shuffled into a target area. This also creates two illusions of opposite types. Illusion 1 deals 0% damage and takes 100% damage. Illusion 2 takes 20% damage deals 20% damage and takes 600% damage.
Yep.
So that's strange and weird.
Super weird. They're just weird. a lot of eggs effects were added.
Yep.
Which makes me happy. Just a few, because again, we could go on this forever. Treant Protector can now turn trees into wards, like vision giving wards.
What?
Yep. If he gets an Ags on his ult. And then
that's like the craziest like support, like that's almost how I would want like people who are learning to play MOBAs to play MOBAs, and it's like, hey, you're gonna play a hero that is literally vision control. Like that's like your job is to create vision. Yep. Like if you want to teach someone that concept, like play this hero, make sure they get farmed enough to get that item, and they're like, okay, just go and give me vision.
Yeah, it's unobstructed vision too. And then when he uses his overgrowth pass, his ult that like traps people and keeps them from like blinking and stuff. Now any tree that is a ward will also have a mini version of overgrowth sprout from it that does damage over time, like a lot. Like it ends up doing like 500 or 600 damage over time. It's super strange.
Oh god, I love this patch so much.
Me too.
So they also changed the way that damage works. They took out composite damage.
Yep, and I think there was even one other kind.
Yeah,
but now it's just like physical, magical, and pure.
Yeah,
which is nice because Dota had a really bad habit of not telling you what kind of damage things do and like what blocks what.
Yes.
And now every attack, it's like, is this like countered by spell immunity? What kind of damage is it?
And
Thank you.
And they even like color coded it.
Yep.
Which is actually something that League does, where it's like there's AP and AD, and there's the only two. I think there's pure as well, but like it was color coded. Like AP is like this greenish color, and like AD is this orangish color, and so you know exactly like, okay, well this guy's I'm getting wrecked with this dude who's doing AP damage, so I'm just gonna build magic resist.
It was too complicated. It literally did not tell you the info you needed in the game. You had to go to a wiki or something, and now that's different. So
yeah, and it just simplifies like they had to make some changes to some characters because of like HP removal and stuff like that. So they made it like they changed some people's actual like abilities to be like, okay, well,
HP removal isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know, because Bane's brain sap is not HP removal anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, his Ags effect, whenever anyone attacks him when he's ulting, they get the nightmare skill put on them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's so many good Ags.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy.
When Sven activates his ult with Ags.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I saw it, but tell the audience.
All of his allies in a radius get like 80% of his base strength is bonus damage. So if you have like a bunch of right clickers on your team, Sven is already like enough right click as long as he has BKB, and then your whole team is now just right clicking for. If it's late game, Sven can easily have a few hundred strength. And if they're doing
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like I'm so excited. Like, I'm sad Mitch isn't here because he would be freaking out about these Sven buffs because he loves Sven. Like, it's one of his favorite characters. And it's the hey, I'm gonna run up to you and stun you, and then I'm just gonna hit you a lot.
Yep. This massive update. This is huge.
Yeah. What else? BKB. This is gonna be super crazy for like games that go like so like now we're getting into a meta like hopefully maybe not hopefully I don't know whether I'll like longer games or not, but it's gonna get to late game games again. You can no longer get additional BKBs and so like when your BKB gets down to like your 4-second, you can't sell it.
Right.
I think you can put it in your stash.
But the duration, the ticking down duration is tied to your hero and not to the item.
Yeah.
And so what you'll see in pro games a lot of times that go late is they'll get 6 slotted, and then for the very last thing, they'll save buyback and they'll refresh their BKB.
Yeah.
So then they have a huge 10-second charge to go into the last fight.
Yeah.
And you can't do that anymore. And that's a huge, huge change.
Yeah, and it kind of like changes the way that the team fights will go now because like it almost seems like a nerf to like super late game stuff, like but like in terms of like the game's taking too long, but it's actually like that means like it's trying to balance out like they don't want stuff to go super long, or the Icebox doesn't want stuff to go super long, but it also doesn't want it to go super short.
Right. This is what I'm trying to figure out because like the whole like nerf to Tower Gold and the buff to the glyphs seems like sort of an indirect buff to like late game heroes.
Yeah.
But then late game supports tend to kind of like they can still help through utility items and skills, and BKB is what stops carries from being affected by that. But now that's getting nerfed.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, okay, the games will go longer, but like they'll also be super vulnerable. In the end. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm fascinated. There's some gold and XP changes in terms of
like assist kills and stopping streaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they're like I'm not even going into it because like
there's a lot of math.
There's a lot of math involved, and like it's I haven't had time to like actually dig in and understand it quite yet. Again, there's plenty about Dota I don't understand. Never claim to be an expert, but there's just some like Crispy, one of our friends, was saying on Twitter the other day that if you get one deny, I think this is right, on the first wave, you will no longer hit level 2. So if you get denied one creep from the first wave mid, then you will no longer get
right, because the 9 creeps now give less experience.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna wrap this up, one last little
No,
thing.
we don't have to wrap it up.
We're good?
Yeah, we're only at like 25 minutes. We're
okay.
fine.
One very great tiny little thing Dota players will love. If you alt-click on the clock, it will print a copy of the time of the clock in your chat. So normally when you kill Roshan, you type in what time it is, and then so you know when the Aegis is back. But people always forget it, and it's sort of like a joke. Oh, we should have checked time. Now it's you just alt-click the clock. It sounds small, but like I'm gonna do that all the time.
Yeah. Some super dumb things I love. There's some new chat wheel options, including good game well played. What should I buy? I'm retreating. Space created.
Space created is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, space created.
That's gonna get overused.
Whoops. Whoops is definitely getting on.
Good.
Destroy the tower, then get back. Destroy the barracks, then get back, which are also incredible. It's like because you can just be like, okay, like rather than saying like, get back, just be like, well, let's finish this, then get back.
Then get out. Oh, are you gonna read the last one?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the last one. Do you want to read it yourself?
No, you go for it.
No. Ward the bottom room, ward the top room. That's so good.
That's really good.
And then Zeus ult now.
Zeus ult now.
Which is even I'm just gonna have that on my bar, even if Zeus is in the game, because
just if the hero's low and running away.
Yeah.
Zeus ult now.
Zeus ult now.
I mean, it could sort of work for like Nature's Prophet ult or like Spectre ult.
Yeah.
In
sure.
a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? There's so much good stuff. Hold on, I'm in the damage.
There are now new ward spots. Did you see those?
I did not.
Yeah, like up by like where you would enter Dire's bottom tier 3. Before you go high ground. That little spot that you would like juke by the secret shop. There's like one of those rocks there with the eye on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's like a new spot there that'll give you a ton of vision because that's what those rocks do. And there's one on Radiant side too. So that's cool.
That's great. Yeah, again, war game is strong. I'm happy that they're like introducing more. But it's like, hey, just ward more. Like vision control is so important, and I think people forget that a lot. That like, and just introducing more places to be like, hey, put a ward here. Please put a ward here. Yeah. And making that very, very obvious. Town portal scrolls are now 100, which is the best. I was always waiting for like the extra 35 gold. I'd be at like 100, and I'd be like, crap! I gotta walk back to lane, and like I don't have enough for a TP.
It was very rarely like I don't know. It wasn't like I urgently need a town portal scroll right now. It was sort of like I'll just kind of wait in the fountain for 20 seconds until I catch up. And, like, that's not fun. So I think that tweak is going to be perfect. Those should be a lot cheaper. So,
yeah.
Awesome.
What else? God, there's so much. I don't know. Like, Ricky got changed in terms of...
Ricky is super weird now.
Yeah. Talking to Crispy, he got nerfed hard in terms of, like, because his fade is now, like, 8 seconds
at level 1. His invis is now a regular skill and not his ult.
Yeah, that's like a buff, but his like last hitting ability now is just not great.
Yep.
Like it's not gonna be fun to lane as.
It's weird because Ricky, I don't know, usually balances are sort of patched around like pro play a lot.
This seems like a pub nerf.
Yeah, but like even like the sort of marquee heroes of 6.82 when they teased it was like there was Roshan and then it was like PL and Bloodseeker. Like PL and Bloodseeker don't get a lot of pro play, and neither does Ricky. Like I don't know, just kind of strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Let's see. I don't even know. Like Lycan got a huge nerf.
Yep.
Like his shapeshift no longer grants 1.5 base attack time. The change shapeshift cooldown got increased.
About
20 seconds.
When he pops his ult, he goes above maximum movement speed. He now goes to 650.
Shapeshift speed increased from 522 to 650.
Yeah, 522 is the max normally, so
that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, he's gonna be so fast.
He's like, hey, see you later.
One change that's actually really huge. Courier speed. Courier
Right.
speed is now, I think, about 100 higher than it was base speed.
Really?
Maybe like 90 or something. It's much higher
Not for
flying.
For flying.
Not for walking.
No, not for walking. Okay. They also changed the like the speed boost.
Yeah, the speed boost was sort of like a thing where you just like, hey, when you're getting an item delivered, you just click speed boost and it'll get there faster. And the cooldown was like reasonable. It was something like 40 seconds and lasted a while or whatever.
Yeah.
But now the cooldown is like 90 seconds and the boost is only a few seconds.
Yeah.
But it's much faster.
Yeah, and we Mitch always when we play would always be like, use the boost, use the boost, use the boost. Now it's like you only should be using the boost when like I would say your carry got an item and like they need the item now and like you need it in very specific instances rather than just always just spam it.
Yeah, I thought, hey, maybe this would like kind of slow things down because the cooldown's so long, but like the normal speed buff of about 100 is massive.
Yeah,
he's gonna be flying around the map. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Husker got some changes. I don't know whether they're buff or nerf. It's gonna be. I'll actually have to.
Some of the
him.
changes are sort of like number tweaks, and you're like, okay, whatever. But some of them are just like these characters have new abilities.
Yes, yeah. Dual breath got nerfed on Jakiro.
Yep.
Oh, Earth Spirit.
Oh yeah,
you can turn heroes into remnants or not remnants. What are they called?
Stone remnants.
Yeah, stone remnants.
Yep. That's weird.
Can you turn allied heroes or is this?
I don't know. It just says heroes, which normally means any targetable hero.
This is gonna be real dumb, because that means you could turn an enemy in and pull them in, or like I don't know.
He never gets any play, but
like send. I don't know, like Sand King.
Yeah.
And just send him in there, and then he can just do his ult.
Oh, you could just kick him in.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what it's going to be used for, but like someone will do something cool, and then everyone will be like, oh.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what heroes become popular. Like Earth or Elder Titan's ult with his eggs now is crazy. Instead of just doing like a bunch of damage, it now like disarms and silences for 6 seconds. Like that's
causes units that are pulled in by added agonyms. Causes units that are pulled in by Earth Splitter to be disarmed in addition to being slowed. Slow and disarm duration increased from some numbers. Doesn't really matter.
Up to 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, it's really long. There's also some weird stuff where it's Darkseer's vacuum cooldown rescaled from 28.0 seconds to 28 seconds.
Yeah. Did you put your text over it? Or your mouse over the text?
No.
And click it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great.
It does the like...
It's like that's pretty great. Chen got some crazy like... He can control agents now.
Yeah, he can now control an agent.
That's real dumb. They're really slow.
Agents are super slow, but like early on, their right click is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like the Black Dragons or whatever they're called. Those guys do a lot of damage to early heroes.
Yeah, and then if you use what's it called? Hand of God, you can like give them max mana or max HP again.
Yep.
That's real dumb. Like, and you can control up to 3 ancients. It's like it's gonna be.
Chen is too hard for people to play, so you never see him in pubs.
Yeah.
But in pro,
it's gonna be great.
Like Puppy is a great Chen.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like Ake on Alliance. Is he still on Alliance?
I'm not
After
sure.
all the roster shifts. Anyway, Ake is a great Chen.
I think my favorite thing that came out of this last night was another one of our friends who loves to play Lich, and he was talking about having someone play Chen and then getting the rock golems and then throwing the ult between the rock golems and just walking that towards the enemy, which like okay,
yeah,
that could work.
I mean,
that would also require both of them to have agonyms.
It can work
and to be super farmed.
Like I hope he gets that.
Yeah,
I hope that happens for him. But that's the most silly situational.
I want to do it
thing.
just to do it, but I don't know what like it's so out there in terms of a
it's
strat.
It's the cheesiest thing.
Like, it'd be really cool. honestly, rather than like walking it towards someone, I think if you like left it on like high ground, so like you say you left it, say you're on Dire, you're Radiant, and you're going into Dire, and you're sitting at the top of the stairs for that secret shop, like right as you're coming up, you could just leave them at the top of there. So someone just walks up onto high ground, they just get bounced right into Lich's ult.
Right.
That'd be sort of fun.
Yeah. Just real quick, if you don't get what's going on, these ancients, and there's certain kind of ancients that
are magic immune.
They're magic immune, but you can cast Lich's ult on them, which is the frost orb that bounces and hits things. And so if you cast it on them, it just bounces indefinitely because they're not getting hurt.
Yeah.
As long as you have Lich's scepter.
Yeah, you have to have Aghanim Scepter on
And
Lich.
so theoretically, if you have an enemy hero in the middle of all of them,
it just ricochets back.
It'll just keep bouncing forever.
Yeah. It's gonna be super dumb.
So dumb.
Like again, like Lich is also like easy to counter in terms of you just kind of walk away from each other. Like it does a bunch of damage, but like you can see it's slow moving. You can see it coming, and you just kind of just walk away.
Yeah.
And eventually, but if you can surprise people, that's pretty great.
Yep.
Broodmother got a bunch of nerfs.
Broodmother's weird.
Yeah.
She's still not in captains.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think they quite know what to do with her yet. We'll see. Like again, like. I think that they're just trying stuff out with her because they're like, maybe this will work. I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm excited for this bounty hunter. Your Shuriken Toss now bounces to all tracked units within 900 range.
Yeah, you can get track up on a lot of people at once. It has a really low cooldown. So
like during team fights, like he'll actually have some nice like kind of AOE damage if he
a little crowd control too. It's a mini stun.
Yeah, and so like it will be like great just in terms of like. If he's doing his job right, he can track a bunch of people and then just toss it in there and get some mini stuns.
Yep.
Oh man, we could go on forever.
I know. I just want this to come out so I can see what's happened with all of my favorite heroes.
Yeah.
Medusa got some buffs, not huge buffs, just some nice buffs to like mana shield and stuff. So I like that a lot because she's a silly hero, but I like her still.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Enough
Dota talk. I'm gonna close this laptop. Tell me about Vanglory.
All right. So the team, Super Evil Megacorp.
So if you don't know, this is the game that Apple showed off during when they're announcing the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus.
Yeah, it was the MOBA on like iPad and iPhones.
Yes.
They were shown off. They're just down in San Mateo. One of the sands. There are a million sands.
Yeah, they're here in the Bay Area.
Yeah. And they came up to the office and they brought 6 iPads and we played some 3-on-3 Vanglory.
Vainglory.
Vanglory.
Yep. So not Vanglory. Okay, Vanglory.
Yep. I totally give them the benefit of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
MOBA on an iPad is like something that can kind of work, but hasn't been super well done yet.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun and it works really well.
Yeah.
Yep. There are only about 12 heroes so far, but each one can fulfill a variety of roles. There's no real like hard supports because when it's just 3-on-3, like you can't have as clearly defined roles as you can with 5-on-5. Controls are just like tap. You play basically with like the iPad, like this level that I'm at, like just on a table.
So like sitting on the chair at a table, like. If your hands are at your sides, like kind of like that.
Yeah, and you just have you use 2 fingers,
mm-hmm.
and it's easy. You just kind of think like where you would click to get last hits, and you're constantly kind of going around, and then you tap over and get the last hit.
So you basically tap to where you want to move, and then tap on to attack, right?
Yeah, you tap to attack, and then you click back, and it's sort of the whole positioning game. And then your skills are everyone has 1 passive and then 3 active abilities, and one of those is the ult. And for most of them, it's like you tap which hero you want to use your ability on, and then you click it. Instead of like in most MOBAs, you click the ability and then you click the hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other way around. You just click the hero, click the ability. It goes to them. It's totally fine.
2 lanes?
Nope. So there's 1 lane. It's sort of like ARAM with a jungle underneath it.
Underneath?
Yeah. There's like the lane is up top, and then there's the big jungle under.
Okay.
And then there's like 2 like little camps that when you destroy them, they buff your creeps for a while until the enemy takes over that camp. So you're constantly going to the jungle to try to buff up your lane to push.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then there's like he's called the gold mine. He's mining gold, and once his like purse fills up, you can kill him and get it's not like extra ticking gold. It's just like 1 good lump sum of cash.
Awesome.
And so that's like a contested point. And then at 15 minutes into the game, which is about 2/3 of the way through most matches, they're pretty short. A giant monster will come and eat the gold mine and replace it, and then when you kill the monster it joins your team and it pushes the lane. It won't attack the heroes. It will just like barrel toward towers.
But you see, but they can still take it down and everything.
They can take it down.
Does it give them?
But it's tough.
Do you get bonus gold for taking it down?
That I don't know.
That's
yeah.
Do you know what like sort of model they're running with for monetization?
They're in like the final stages of figuring that out. It is, it's kind of all up in the air. I mean, they said they're not interested in any sort of pay to win thing.
Yeah, that'd be not.
Everyone kind of says that, but everyone also says they want to make a hardcore game that plays well on tablets. And most people don't, and these people did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So so there was one other one, Face Forever. I think
that one I did not play. That got some like Mitch and Leah and
even Altano.
And Altano played it.
Played a little bit.
I didn't get to play that one, unfortunately.
We should jump on. I just got a 6. I'm definitely gonna try to pick that up. Both of them up because I feel like people are making them for this one for 4 of these mobile platforms at this point. And I feel like I should try it.
Yeah. I've mainly one of the reasons I don't play it is I'm still on a 4S.
Yeah.
And I finally have a 6 Plus coming.
You bought a 6 Plus?
I went with the Plus.
You're
Let's not talk about that.
You're a crazy person.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is everything's going to look good and I'll have space to play MOBAs on my phone.
Okay.
So that's where I'm going with it. I definitely want to play. They're rolling out globally next month, but there's no like specific date for when. So yeah, definitely look out for that. It's super good. I see why Apple picked it up as a demo game.
Yeah, it also looks incredible.
Yep.
It looks so good. For like again for phone, but like that's like I hate saying that because like it looks incredible for phone. Yeah, but you're running on limited hardware. Of course it's gonna look not as good as console, but it like I'm very very impressed on what they've done.
All the heroes I played felt really different. There's one who like makes onion minions or munions.
Is he an
onion?
An onion
Her
knight?
name is Petal.
Her name.
Flower. She kind of walks around. She like pulls them out of the ground, and then she can like use them to like attack towers or like suicide bomb. There's like tons of giant robot characters that will like stun you. There's your typical like DPSers. There's like I don't know. It's crazy. There's 12 heroes I think in the build that I played, and they're planning on adding more. Super cool. Made by people who worked at Blizzard, who worked at Riot. Some people who worked on Killzone.
That sounds like an awesome
former pro StarCraft player is in on it. So like do
you know who? Just I'm
remember
curious.
his name.
Okay.
They kept calling him Q.
Q.
Maybe that might just be a nickname short for his name. But
yeah.
anyway,
yeah.
Good pedigree behind that. This is their first game, and they've been a studio for 2.5 years. So that's a very long time to make a mobile game. That's long.
That gives me like a little bit of like confidence and like okay. I'm assuming like a lot of that was like startup time, but like because as like a new company, you have to like actually build your company before you can build a game. But that still gives me confidence that like that probably like took 6 months and they had a year and a half to develop this. Right. And again, Apple put it on a stage, so they probably have confidence in it.
It's really fun.
Yeah. Well.
Did we do it?
I think we did it. That's 45 minutes or 43 minutes of you and I.
That's pretty solid.
Talking about MOBAs.
We did it.
You can email us. We didn't even read emails this week. I don't think we even got very many, but
it's been a busy time.
Yeah, it's been a busy time. It's arena-podcast@ign.com.
Nice.
I think I got it this week.
You did it?
I actually did it. I think it's because of the caffeine.
Oh, I need some caffeine too.
Yeah. We have a Facebook group. We have a subreddit. I think they're all IGN Arena or Arena Pod. I think it's IGN Arena.
Yeah.
If you look it up on Facebook, it will pop up. You subscribe to IGN Prime. We've talked about this before. It's a really great service.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of free games. I'm not sure what we're doing this month. I have to look it up.
We've said yet.
I don't think maybe we haven't. But it's a great service.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. You should do it. Also listen to Podcast Beyond.
Podcast Unlocked.
Yeah, where you can probably
voice chat.
Yeah, you can. But I think Beyond will probably have Japan stories this week, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
They like their TGS. Colin is going to be on it, so.
Yeah, I think it should already went up. I think they recorded the day they got back. But yeah, there's probably some stories from there.
All right.
Mitch and I, maybe we'll get into some next week, just as what we did into. Japan's not into MOBAs. Surprise, surprise. Although that's actually some news. At the very end of the podcast, Riot is opening a Japan server, which is interesting.
I didn't know there wasn't one.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of servers. They actually they have like EU West and EU East, I think, in terms of like the servers you can play on. But like yeah, it's they're opening up a Japan server. So I'm really interested to see, at least because they usually have people representing each region at Worlds. If like in a year we'll see a Japanese team, or in 2 years we'll see a Japanese team at during the qualifiers, or maybe even in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of like Eastern Asian teams that play a lot of MOBAs.
Yeah, I just don't think that I don't think that Japan's like a huge PC culture. Like
Right.
I like in Korea and like China, they have like PC bangs, which are like just the like gaming cafes where you can go and just rent time on a computer. I didn't really see that. Like there's definitely like gaming stuff, like arcades. I just didn't see any of those. I take that back. I did see one, but I just don't know how big of a culture it is there.
Anyway, last minute news.
Last minute news. But this is ign-arena. Hopefully,
thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, people will be back next week.
Yeah,
well, I think we'll all be here next week.
Hopefully.
If not, I'll see you on the Lord's Fish.